If you're wondering where I am now, I am in Madrid. I'm in this park. I don't even know what park it is. I couldn't tell you. I was trying to go to this museum, but in all honesty, I did not look at the hours to see whether or not I would make it in time. And I kind of leisurely got up. So, I went to the front. There was a rope, and he was saying, oh, something, something, but I can't fully understand all of Spanish because I'm not fluent in Spanish. So he was basically saying to me that they're about to close, and he pointed to the sign. And it said, "We do not allow people in 1 hour before closing." And then I was like confused because it's the middle of the day, and he's like, "Oh, cerrado," which means closed. So I was like, "Oh, okay. Well, I guess this is out for the day, so I can't do this." And you know what? I think one thing I'm learning when it comes to Spain and a lot of these different places is that you really have to plan like a few days ahead in order to make sure that you can get in where you want to get in, because otherwise you'll not get in. Like, I wanted to try and go to the Royal Palace of Madrid. I was looking at tickets earlier today. They don't have tickets until Monday, and I'm leaving on Monday. So I was like, all right, well, I guess we're not going to get to do this or that this trip, which is fine. I just have to come back. But one of my major thoughts about Madrid is I think I like it a little more than Barcelona. I like the metro in Barcelona more. I think it's just nicer. But in terms of the actual city of Madrid, it feels more like New York a bit. I don't know how to explain it, but it's kind of like New York Spainified, which is obvious, right? And it's really nice and very peaceful and very calm. I'm going to be going to get some tapas later on this street that is known as like Tapas Central, so I'm excited about that. And then last night I actually booked myself a reservation for this spot that does paella there. So I was watching this video and it was talking about how a lot of places in Spain, they kind of use frozen stuff and like don't slow cook the paella for you and then present it to you. So this person made a TikTok and they were like, don't go to those places, you have to go to this place. So I was like, bet. So I made a reservation. So I have my reservation tomorrow at 6:30. So that's going to be like my big event for the day. For the most part today, my goal is to go get the tapas, to try this little ice cream cone, which I'm going to do after this because it's hot here. And then I'm going to go do the tapas thing. And I also saw somewhere that you should catch a sunset by some park, which obviously I'm not remembering off the top of my head. So I'm going to see if I'm going to do that later on. Who knows? Because I'm kind of really using this trip to recharge. Usually I'm around so many people. Like, I live with my parents, and I'm very grateful that I have that privilege to not have to worry about where I live and pay for that. But that being said, it can be a lot of energies at once. And I think that's one of the major reasons why I needed this leg of my trip, because I needed to be fully in my own energy, wake up when I want to, do what I want, not have people telling me what to do, not feeling like I'm competing with so many different energies. And a major theme that has been coming up on this trip, especially solo travel, is like, I need to really let love into my life. I think in a lot of ways, I am a very loving person, but I think I haven't necessarily been open to receiving it. And I've really been thinking about why that is and why I felt like I haven't really deserved it. And I'm sure, like, even in my last video, you noticed me talking about that and just being with my sister and her girlfriend. And so funny because someone made a comment on that video. It was like, what is there, a lesbian pandemic in your social circle? And then just left my channel. And I've just got to say, I don't understand why someone living their life the way that they want to, and they happen to be a lesbian, would make you feel a certain way. Also, I'm not a lesbian. I don't understand why that would matter whatsoever. I think that's so weird. Like, it's 2025. I don't understand why it's a problem if someone's gay or if someone's a lesbian. Like, let them live their life. They're not bothering you. They are enjoying their time. You can enjoy your time. I'm enjoying my time. I went to Smith College, for God's sakes. There are lesbians everywhere. I'm actually so used to it at this point. It's normal. I don't think about it ever. Like, never. I'm not a lesbian. So why the hell would I care if I'm hanging out with lesbians or if I'm hanging out with gay men? Like, who cares? I'm living my life, they're living their life. I'm happy, they're happy. Why should I care? And I actually saw a really, oh my gosh, this thing is like this bug. I really need some water, by the way, so I'm gonna definitely have to get water. But I just think it's so funny because I saw this post and it was like, people who are happy are not hating, and hating people are not happy. And it's so true. Like, if you're looking at someone else's life and you have something negative to say, it's because you yourself are not happy. I would never look at someone else's life and say something negative about them or about them or about their life, because that would say something about me. That would say that I'm a hating ass bitch, and I am not a hating ass bitch. But a lot of people are, and they are constantly projecting their negativity onto others. And like, honestly, God bless. I hope you get over that, because that's no life to live, babe. It's really not. And I always think it's interesting when I have interactions like that, because sometimes I forget that there are people like that in the world. And like, yes, I definitely grew up around a lot of people who have more of a negative type of mindset, but I don't even think that that's an outlier. I think a lot of people in the world are honestly not as happy as they could be, and it's because they choose to not be. And I have decided in my life that I'm gonna be happy, because that's what I deserve, that's what I want. It's how you live a healthier life, it's how you enjoy your life, and it's how you look for the best and know that the best is yet to come. And speaking of the best is yet to come, Trump has been on this tour throughout the Middle East, and it's making me so happy, because I'm like, wow, like, peace in the Middle East. Who would have freaking thought? Who would have thought? I knew it. That's why I voted for the man, right? And it's interesting because so many people are like, oh my God, like, why would you vote for him? I lost so many people. Well, actually, I wouldn't say I lost people. I would say the people who weren't aligned with me were removed from my life when I decided to vote for Trump in 2020. And then again, I voted for him in 2024 because I'm not a fake bitch, okay? I stand behind what I say. And a lot of people who I knew were like, oh yeah, like, I'm just not gonna vote at all because I don't want to vote for Kamala, but I also don't really want to vote for Trump. And I was like, okay, you do what you're gonna do, I'm gonna do what I'm gonna do. And I voted for him. And I remember when stuff was going on about the stock market crashing and all that, so many people were online like, oh my God, look, this is what happened, and the tariffs, oh my God, he's tanking the economy, you guys voted for this. And it's like, sometimes you have to allow things to unfold and recalibrate before you say shit, right? Because it's so easy when you're going through the process of transformation to see like the recorrection as, oh my God, like, the world is ending and I don't know what's gonna happen, versus if you stick it out and you're willing to go through the messy middle and, you know, kind of overcome that and trust that everything is working out for you, for the world, whatever, then you'll notice that things will take a turn for the positive. And I think right now things are taking a turn for the positive. I mean, the fact that Trump secured 10 trillion in investment into the US, like, that's insane in 4 days. Like, bro, that's a skill. It's a skill that I would like to have. And I think that's why people voted for Trump. Okay, he's a business guy, he understands how to negotiate, and I think that is incredible. And like, honestly, I want the course. I know he wrote a few books on this, but I'm just like, damn, like, he's so good at this. And I think that is why so many Americans came out and voted for him, because they're like, we need a business guy in office, bro. I'm looking around, by the way, and I'm seeing so many beautiful birds, and I'm like, what freaking type of birds are these? Like, I'm looking at one right now. Oh, magical. I wouldn't even be able to really show you with my camera, but wow, beautiful. Anyway, I am learning that you really have to roll with the punches. And even though I'm a little not upset, I was more so taken aback by the fact that, like, the plan that I had come together with, I'm going to get my tax refund and I'm getting my last check for my corporate job and I'm going to have all these funds to go on this trip, and then the tax refund didn't come in yet. I'm like, like, it's kind of really causing me to exercise faith and trust that, like, I must be here for a reason. I don't know the reason, but it's okay. And you kind of just got to keep moving, because sometimes that is what happens in life. You get thrown a curveball. Things look like they're going south, just like with the whole tariffs and all that. And then things start to take a turn for the better. And I was listening to this book, or I have been listening to this book this entire trip, and I should have gotten the name before I got on here. I'm sorry, guys, but I will put it in the description. And it gave me this phrase to write in a notebook, but also to say. And I think it's so great because it starts to get you to focus on the positive. So the saying or the sentence is, divine love is doing its perfect work in this situation now, and all is well. And I've just been saying that to myself over and over again when I have these feelings that come up where it's like, oh my gosh, what's going on, da 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 da. And you have to remember that divine love is doing its perfect work in this situation now, and all is well. Because I think as soon as you start to believe that, oh my God, what's going to happen, your nervous system starts to go out of whack, right? And then when your nervous system is out of whack, you're going to attract experiences you don't necessarily want. And I've been there, done that so many times, and I don't want to do that anymore. So I'm choosing to speak words of life into myself, into the situation, rather than get caught up in what things look like. Because when I think about my life, when I come to the end of a thing, that's when something new starts. I don't necessarily know what that new thing is, but it's starting, right? So, yeah, I don't know. I am definitely going to go get this ice cream because it is hot. I'm really excited to go to SoulCycle once I get back, though, because I need to work out. I have just been walking, which is great for exercise, but it's not the type of targeted exercise that I need. I start bar teacher training at the end of the month, which is going to be really exciting, and I'll probably be doing a lot of Uber Eats, in all honesty, just because probably the best thing for me to do when I get back. But yeah, we all deserve love. We all deserve an amazing life. We all deserve to live a life that we love. And if you believe that you don't, you need to ask yourself the question, why? What was it in your past that you're still holding on to that is making you believe and walk out this notion that life has to be hard, life has to be difficult, life has to be loveless? I genuinely don't believe that, and I think I've always personally given so much love to other people, and in this phase of my life, I'm focusing on giving love to myself first, because if you can't pour into yourself first, you're going to be pouring from an empty cup. So at a certain point, you are going to break down and you are going to feel drained. You're not going to be in your highest vibration. You're not going to be in this aura that is magnetic, and people aren't going to care because they'd rather it be you than them. And that's the honest truth. Like, you literally have to look out for yourself first. Self-preservation. And it's not to say that you are like, okay, well, I'm doing this, F you. But like, kind of sometimes you do have to do that, because, and it's funny because I was looking at a video title and it says you don't have to have boundaries. I think it's really just that you have to have spiritual protection around yourself. You have to be very aware of yourself, and you have to know what feels good to you versus what doesn't. If you putting yourself out on a limb at the expense of yourself doesn't feel good, why the hell would you do it, right? And that's when it comes to, you don't really need boundaries. You just need to be literally aware of yourself and how you feel in every moment, how things feel, how being around certain people feels. And if you don't like it, don't do it. Okay? Like, it's really that simple. I now don't do things I don't want to do, because why would I? That's stupid. It's dumb. I should not do that. You should not do that. Why do we do that? Why are we told to be self-sacrificial? The people who are self-sacrificial don't seem to have the life that I want. So why would I follow that model? The people who are selfish and pour into themselves and say no to things that they don't want to do, regardless of how people make them feel about it, those are the people who are living their best lives. I want to be one of those people. I am one of those people. So that's what I do. And that's what you should do. Anyway, I feel like I'm just yapping now. Yeah, I'm definitely yapping. If you like this message, like, comment, and subscribe. I really don't even know what the point of this video was, but it felt like I needed to say it, so yay. I'm gonna put some things in the description. Again, see you guys in the next one.